Hey all you cool cooks in the kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make chicken fajitas. Now these things are one of the best recipes I personally have ever made in my life. Come look at the ingredients. Okay, so we have chicken breasts. I just did 3 chicken breasts and then cut them into quarters pretty much. And we got half an onion. We got half orange bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, and red bell pepper. We have 4 jalapenos. I scooped the seeds and the rind out because I personally don't like it as spicy, and the seeds and the rind really contain all the spice. We got about 1.5 tablespoons of seasoning. This is just garlic powder, salt, pepper, and Cajun seasoning. You can really season your chicken to how you like it. I know not everybody likes a whole lot of seasoning. I got a lime that I cut into thirds, and this is what really makes the chicken shine. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is put the jalapenos on medium heat in the skillet. I like to do the jalapenos first just to get them nice and toasted. It brings out the flavor of the jalapeno really well. And you're going to need to put about 1 tablespoon of olive oil in the pan. This just helps it cook a little easier. Okay, so after letting the jalapenos get a little bit of head start on cooking, you're going to need to go ahead and dump your onions in there, and also your bell peppers. And don't worry, as they cook, the size of these vegetables will shrink and you'll have more room left in the pan. We're going to let these cook in the pan for about 10 minutes so they can shrink, and then we're going to add the chicken. Okay, so after letting your veggies cook for around 10-ish minutes, you're going to need to go ahead and put the chicken in. And it's important to let your veggies cook first, just a little bit, because if you don't, then by the time your chicken is cooked, your veggies will still be kind of raw and crunchy, and that's not the end goal here. The end goal here is to have the veggies nice and caramelized and looking good by the time the chicken's done. After you put the chicken in the skillet, it's important to season it right away. Make sure you season most of the chicken on the raw side, and then the flavors will just absorb through the chicken as you're cooking it. And once you get all the pieces of chicken coated as much as you'd like, you can go ahead and dump the rest of the seasoning into the veggies, because by the time this is all cooked and mixed together, it's just going to be on every bite pretty much. And after you get all the seasoning and everything on here, you're just going to let it cook and let that chicken brown on one side for about 4 to 5 minutes, I'd say. It's definitely important to make sure you're checking. Make sure your chicken's touching the bottom of the skillet and not resting on the vegetables, because if it's resting on the vegetables, it won't get the chance to get that nice golden brown sear to it, and that's what we're looking for. Okay guys, it's been about 3 to 4 minutes. We're going to go ahead and flip this chicken over and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's like perfect. You know, this recipe is one of my favorites actually. Not just because it tastes really good, but just because there's only like 5 or 6 ingredients in this, and it's amazing what you can do with such little ingredients, and with a budget of about $20, you can cook this amazing meal for your family. And I love the fact that it only takes about 30 minutes to cook. Okay, after letting your chicken sear for 3 to 4 minutes on the other side, you're going to want to take one of your lime slices and just go ahead and drip it all over the chicken. And what this does, it not only gives it flavor, but it also tenderizes the chicken like you would not believe. It's crazy. And after you go ahead and drizzle that all over the chicken, you're going to need to go ahead and give it a stir. Make sure you get it all over that chicken. You're going to let that sit for a minute, and then you're going to repeat the process after about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so after you let that lime juice cook off for about 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to need to go ahead and repeat that process. And just squeeze that lime all over the chicken once again. But this time, you're going to stir the vegetables around with the chicken. Make sure you get everything incorporated into that lime juice. And now we're going to get a lid and put it on the skillet and let that lime juice really seep in to everything. Okay, so after putting the lid over top of this chicken and letting it sit for about 3 minutes, you're going to need to do it one more time. Just squeeze the lime on top of the chicken. And I promise you, it won't make this chicken taste overly like lime. This is just partially to tenderize this chicken so it's fall apart when I go to cut it here in a minute. Okay, after you squeeze the final piece of lime, you're going to set the lid on top and let it work its magic for about another 3 minutes. And then we're going to check the temperature of the chicken. Okay, so after letting your chicken simmer under the lid for another 2 to 3 minutes, you'll need to take a piece to sample the temperature. Okay, so after you have confirmed that your chicken has reached 165 degrees internally, you're going to want to pull the pan off the heat. Okay, so the last thing, this is completely optional. I just like to do it because it makes the tortillas taste better. But you're going to need to put about 2 tablespoons of oil in a hot pan. Get really nice and hot. And you're just going to need to drop your tortilla in. And I like to keep pressure on the tortilla so it doesn't bubble up. And you don't really need to cook it for that long because it'll get nice and crispy right away. Make sure you get it all covered in oil, that way it gets a nice crisp texture to it. And flip it over. And there you have it. Okay, now that the chicken has rested for a couple minutes, it's time to shred it. Not really shred it, just slice it into thinner pieces. looks so good, you guys. The knife just slides through it like butter. Thanks for watching another episode of Dining with Dom. I hope you enjoy. I sure will.